Democrats have been demonizing President Donald Trump and the GOP as an existential threat for more than 3 years. You may recall even before Trump how they pitched that GOP wanted to steal your health care and push Granny off the cliff in her wheelchair. That scaremongering led to threats and attacks on GOP lawmakers. Even during the shooting up the GOP baseball practice, the shooter, a Bernie bro, allegedly shouted, "This is for healthcare." Infamously, Representative Maxine Waters encouraged people to harass Trump officials wherever people saw them, to push back at them. With impeachment and their desperation over that failure, they've only jacked up the extremism and the language. Over the weekend, a man with a knife was arrested near the White House after saying he wanted to assassinate the president. In another incident, a man in a van plowed into a tent of Trump campaign volunteers who were helping register people to vote in Florida. He then got out, videoed the damage and gave the volunteers the finger before he sped away. Miraculously, no one was hurt and that man is now under arrest. While Republicans have condemned the attack and called on people to not act with violence, not even one Democrat has condemned this. In fact, the language of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was just the opposite, ratcheting up. Pelosi was at the National Governors Association's winter meeting in Washington, D.C., on Sunday where she was asked a question by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo about what advice she would give children who might be interested in running for office. First she said that we all hope that they don't run for office, because this is not for the faint of heart, but you had to be ready to throw a punch. But no worries, because it's for the children. From Town Hall, she explained. You all know that. It's not for the faint of heart. It's difficult, more difficult now, especially for women. As I say to them, you're in the arena. Once you're in the arena, again, this is not for the faint of heart, Pelosi said, holding up a fist. It's Sunday morning. I know I just came from church, mass, but, nonetheless, I'll say this. You're in the arena. You gotta be ready to take a punch and you gotta be ready to throw a punch. Before the crowd could react, she held up her finger in clarification. Then she said, for the children. The audience laugh says everything, as though they recognized she was pulling out that old Democratic saw of it being for the children and what a joke it was. She continued. For the children, because, really, aren't we all about the future and how we envision the future? The speaker asked. And it's about the children and their future, Pelosi said. There are 3 important issues that continually face Congress. I always say the same thing, our children, our children, our children. Their health, their education, the economic security of their families, a clean, safe environment, including gun safety, violence protection, in which they can thrive. And a nation, a world at peace in which they can face their fulfillment. There's plenty of common ground in that. Apparently this is a common line in her speeches, as I found multiple examples on Twitter. Here's another time she said it. Who would use such language in advice you're supposed to be giving kids? And if we're really all about the children, maybe you should have been concentrating on doing something for the children instead of concentrating on investigating and impeaching the president. Going into the 2020 elections, you literally have done nothing for the children. In fact, you have frightened them, hyping the false horrors not only of Trump but also of things like climate change, making kids think that their world is falling apart and they're all about to die, rather than realizing the positives that are happening right now. And still, no condemnation of the hateful attack on the Trump campaign volunteers.